Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and today I'm doing maybe a little bit of a mask making, and I wanted to share that with you instead of just sitting here doing it by myself. So I just got a bunch of new stamps, and I'm excited to use them. And I also did some rearranging. Let me turn to the side here, and I've got lots of room. I've got all these little containers on my new carts that I've arranged. And that was in a previous video, just in case you didn't see it. And I want to make a bunch of different things that I can pull from and put on my cart. So what I'm doing today is just using my stamps. I'm making these little ephemera pieces using the stamps. This is a way for me to get kind of vintage feeling things in. I've got frames and old paperwork and things. Those are the types of stamps that I have ordered because I don't design these kinds of principles, and I love using principles. So I wanted to mesh these in without having to buy a lot of stuff in the long term or hunt down ephemera pieces in the wild. So I'm using these stamps on just a regular paper and making these have a little bit of gold shine on them. I did some paint. I'll show you how I did that. But yeah, I'm just gonna mass make a bunch and toss them in my little bin, and then I'll have them to pull from whenever I do my next project. So I'm just using white copy paper. This is Amazon Basics white copy paper. I could have used a coffee dyed paper, but it really gets kind of a texture to it. It's not a lot, but a little bit. And I felt like that texture was gonna make it so my stamps didn't go on nice and neat. I'm trying to find my words today, so bear with me. And you can see this is not very white at all. It's a little brighter, but with Distress ink and putting a little bit of gold paint on there and the brown ink, I really feel like these are not going to be glaringly white, but they will stand out nicely on a coffee dyed paper. So that's the hope. So I'm going to start out by just stamping a bunch of stamps onto my paper, and I'm going to leave some space in between them. And I wanted to start with these frames, and hopefully it's not going to make a lot of loud peeling noises. Put that to the side. Let's see how I have my block here. I'm going to try to do a few on a block at a time, but I also want to leave space in between them because some things, let me go on the other side with the lines. Of course, I can't lean over. Some things I want to cut out and kind of fussy cut them out maybe, and other things I'm going to want to tear around. So I think these I might like to fussy cut around. This other one gonna fit on there, maybe. That's awful close to that border. There, let's do one of these little brackety things, maybe. So I was very tempted, and I tried it out to just ink up this whole shape and just stamp it on this way, and it worked pretty well, but it wanted to squidge around just a little bit because everything is so soft. Let's see, let's do one of these little brackets like this. There we go. So I'm just setting up the acrylic block. These are those cling stamps. I like them because they don't take up a lot of space. And I'm using walnut stained Distress ink. I'm not going to make you sit here while I stamp a bunch of pieces of paper. I'm going to do a few on this piece, and then I will cut to where the next step is. But the goal is to just have a ton of these to pull from. All right, I don't want to go too close to the edge. I might try some black ink today. I'm not sure. I'm always afraid that black ink is going to be too bold. Oh, that did not stamp very well. I think I didn't ink it all up very well. Okay, so I think the problem was either loading too many things on one block, or I flipped this over. There's a texture, like a wood grain texture on the other side of this. So I'm not sure if it was the mat or putting too many things on one block, but it's not a stamps problem, it's some other problem going on here. So I am going to go ahead and keep using this sheet of paper, and I'll try to be less ambitious. I was just trying to save a little bit of time there. That looks much nicer. by not having to load and unload stamps from so many blocks, but that's okay. I'm always looking to cut corners, but not at the expense of how everything looks. So I'm going to continue doing this until I fill the page. Do it this way. And I'm going to just kind of work my way through all of my stamps. I am going to show you my stamps really quickly because I'm super excited about these. I've been increasing my stamp stash and really focusing on vintage stamps. So let me grab a fresh sheet of paper and I can show these to you. Boom, fresh sheet of paper. All right, so I got these little vintage frames. I thought those were adorable. These are, let me see if I can lift this up. These are kind of checks and ledgers and things like that. I thought those were really cute. I've got some kind of written things with flowers and butterflies. I like those. These are smaller versions of those. Actually, these are smaller than I thought they would be. I thought they would be a little bigger. I still really like them. They're going to be really cute for this project. This is some handwritten, slightly messier things. Nice, neat tickets and timetables, things like that, kind of a travel theme. And then I got these tarot cards. I do a lot of kind of witchy, and I've got Halloween stuff coming up, and I thought that these tarot card stamps would be a lot of fun for that. And there are a couple kind of mystical looking ones. They're not quite. And these are a good size. This is 8.5 by 11. I will link all of these down below so that you can check them out on Amazon. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you do make a purchase, I might make a small commission. And now you know. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to fill some pages with all of these great stamps, and I will be right back. All right, so I've got 5 sheets of stamps done up here. And I'm going to cut these apart in different ways. Some of these I'm going to fussy cut out. Some of them I'm going to cut out neatly. Some of them I'm going to tear. So let's start with some of the ones I want to tear. Let's go with the sheet here. Now I left a lot of space in between these. Those are those little botanical stamps. And I've got my decal edge rulers. And I just am gonna toss this down and I'm gonna tear the paper and just pull these out this way. And I'm going to swap edges periodically. There we go, my little trash bin here. And let's go down here. I like to kind of flip-flop between the different torn edges just to kind of mix it up. I think it makes it a little more interesting. And this is where I tried to get far enough from the edge that, let's grab a different ruler, that it left me enough to grab a hold of to kind of tear if I wanted to tear them out. Now you could totally, I think, leave, let's flip back this way. You could leave these in a sheet and stash them that way. I think I'm going to tear through these pretty quickly. See what I did there, tear through. So I'm just going to tear these all out. All right, and you can see I didn't worry about how neat I was. Like this one's kind of offset to the side, but if I'm layering this with other items, then that offset is going to work really nicely to kind of create layers and not end up with like teeny tiny little pieces where the whole print disappears. So that is one method of taking these apart. The next method is something like these little tickets and probably these paperwork kind of stamps, where I'm just going to cut them out. I can maybe use my paper trimmer, but I'm going to just, with my scissors very quickly, cut them out. I'm going to leave a little border around the edge. There we go. I can always neaten that up a little bit, but it doesn't need to be perfect. There we go. So I would just do that and cut these all out right around the edges on some of these that have nice defined edges. And then the third way, here we go, is the fussy cut. So something like this one. Let me just kind of get it out of here. Let me get both of these. I did keep my mist stamps. I think that those are still useful. I might just tear them out, or I don't know, I'll just play with them. So I'll just give this a little fussy cut. I said to remember to move the paper, not the scissors. Let the left hand steer, or if you're left-handed, then let the left hand steer. These are going to be really cute, and I feel like I can get a lot more use out of stamps in my stash than I can just random stickers and ephemera pieces that I've mass purchased. And in this way I can make some, have them in my stash, and when I run out I will just sit and make some more. So there's my little fussy cut frame, and that's going to be really cute layered up with other things. I mean, right there. Obviously, we do a little more to those just to kind of zhuzh them up a bit, because it is just a stamp on white paper at this time, and we're going to do that next. But first, I am going to cut all of these out so that I have a pile of ephemera to pull from, and then I think I'm going to make a couple things to go into my next journal. All right, I've got everything cut and torn out, and I've also flipped back to the plain side of my mat, so it's a little easier. It's not all crisscrossy anymore. Now I varied up how I cut everything out. I did do the tickets and the schedules kind of straight, and then I varied between straight cuts, and I did a little fussy cutting on these smaller botanical pieces, as well as the tarot cards. I did some of them straight, and then I did some of them torn. And just to show you, I don't worry about them being perfectly torn. I love that. I love how raggedy and funky it is. So at this point, these are ready to go into my stash so that I have them to pull from later on. But I thought it would be fun to maybe do something with these in this video instead of just leaving you with a bunch of just plain stamped torn paper. So I'm going to pick a few of these out, and I'm going to work on them for my journal. So let me show you what I am working on. I've got this, excuse my box here. We're going to use that in a minute. And I'm going to reach all the way over here. So I have this bin set up. Oop, there's my bin. And I've been putting things in here. This is my Dark Forest journal kit, and it's got lots of blues and purples and kind of tarot card-esque type images. And I've got everything just kind of tossed into this bin right here, ready to go. Got a lot of the papers here as well. I'll show you some of those really quickly. So I'm working with a lot of purples and blues, some of the journaling paper, and this is a separate paper set. I'll link all this down below as well. These are in my Etsy shop. I'm trying to find some of the big images. Those are the fun ones, without scattering things everywhere. Here we go. So we've got a lot of these types of images as usual, like I usually put in my kits, along with a lot of other journaling pieces. And then again, some of these, nope, this one's included in the kit as well. There are a few of these that are this one is a separate paper set. So it's such a fun color scheme. And I've started gathering things that fit that. There's fabric in this bin. There's all kinds of goodies in this little tote here, ready to go. I have a master board that's from my cart. I just had a purple one, so I pulled that out. The cart is already working as intended. So, okay, bin, back over there. So I'm going to pull some of these out and let's make some stuff. So I'm going to grab some tarot cards. I think I wanted to do like the sun. She's in the whole theme is like this dark forest with maybe some magical elements. So I think maybe let's do the High Priestess card. And even though, let's see, what about the Magician? Maybe there's a Magician as well. And then some of these decorative ones. Let's do a couple of those. And the rest of these go into my stash. I don't know that I'm going to paint all of these or use all of these today, but I'll pull them out and I'll start working on them. These I definitely want to use. So I'm just going to leave all these right here. And I don't think this is an opportunity for tickets and things, though these are incredibly cute. I don't think it goes with my theme, so I'll put those in my stash. Along with the paperwork, I did leave everything a little bit sorted out by type. And then all these botanicals are going to be so fun. So let's pull some of these botanicals out. Let's do some of the straight and some of the torn, and the rest of these can go in here. So first I'm going to show you how I did the pieces. Now they're at the bottom of the ephemera pile. These ones here, where I put gold paint on them. Let me hold this up and see. There's one that has like larger dots on it, but there's a metallic gold paint on here. So let's do that first. So I'm gonna grab, let's do that card. I'm going to leave those. Picking and choosing is the hard part. Let's do that. And how about that one there? We got a little bit of a variety. And I started off by just inking the edges. For this, because the kit has blues and purples and blacks, let's see, let's experiment with some black ink on. I find black ink to be a little bit strong, but I think maybe since we're going to be putting some gold paint on, maybe that will give it some more life. Maybe we'll mix a little bit of the walnut stain in. There are some browns in the kit, so let's soften that black a little. Just a little ink. And you can see already this simple stamped piece of paper is being transformed into a not white, not boring piece of paper. You can definitely ink over the whole thing. You could paint, watercolor. Really, it just depends on your project that day. Let's put those to the side. And I wanted a little bit of purple. Since there's my daubers in the bottom. Let's do, how about this one here? This purple, this is Seedless Preserves. It's a very strong purple, but it's a very, very colorful journal. So I think it'll hold up. We'll kind of use that sparingly on the edges. And let's use the, what is this, Salty Ocean. As you can see, I have a very limited color selection. I got a neutral set and I got a colored set, and that is it. I have 8 inks. I may expand that in the future, but to be honest, I have not felt I needed to go much beyond these 8 inks. And if I do need another color, I have lots of other things available to me. So I think sometimes, while it's fun to buy things, sometimes you need to use what you have. I am, going to add a little purple on this as well. Oh, that's really pretty. That definitely is getting that essence of that journal kit. Gosh, I want to put a little bit on of blue. Switch back to the blue. I just like squirreled very slightly. All right, back to the blue. So you can see, I picked my project, I pulled some ephemera pieces, and now I'm taking those pieces, and I was supposed to put the blue on this. And now I'm taking those pieces and I'm making them fit my color scheme for my project. And I think that's the whole point of having things like this in your stash, so that you can have things to pull from and not be searching. But I think you can go too far in the other direction too. You can sometimes just do way too much. Let's do some brown with that blue and tone it down. I feel like sometimes you can do just way too much and and then you don't use everything. So for now, my rule is if it fits on my new storage carts, it stays. All right, next step. This is how I got the gold. So I have a box. This is just and we got gold paint mixed with water. This is very, 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 very watered down metallic gold paint. You can use any gold paint. It's in a little spritzer bottle. I got these off of Amazon. And I'm just gonna stick these in. The thicker your paint is, the fatter your drops are gonna be. The thinner your paint is, the more of a mist you're going to get. And I can show you, oops, little ephemera pieces everywhere. Here we go. So this one was super misted, but this one, the first few sprays, the paint was thicker, and then I added some water to the bottle. And I love that look, but for this project, that's not what I was looking for, and I could always splatter paint on again later. So you can always add paint. All right, pick up all the things I just threw on the floor. So I'm gonna stand up and just spritz. And the box is gonna keep the paint from going all over my table. And I'm really liberally spraying these because the paper is white. It really can take quite a bit of paint. And I'm gonna leave those to dry in there, and let's move on. All right, these are all ready to go. I've got, there it is, our ink and paint is all done. Number 3. And I'm just going to incorporate this with some of my kit pieces onto these tags. These are pre-made cardstock panels. And I did, you can kind of maybe see there's doilies overlaid with graph paper on this one. This one has stencils. And this is dictionary pages with a doily. And I'm just gonna ink these up really quickly. I'm using black. I'm gonna try to be a little bold and use the black on this because this kit is kind of dark and moody and I wanna carry that feel through. I won't use it on everything. There are browns and golds in this kit as well. So I think if I judiciously move back and forth between the two, that's gonna work well for me. I've got my Oohoo glue stick and I'm gonna do a little layering. Let's start with the owl. And I'm just going to cover the back of the owl. Let me get some scrap paper. There we go. With my Oohoo glue stick. And I'm also going to do the back of this little tarot card as well. And I wanted to layer these kind of one like that, and then the other one like that. Grab my bone folder and smooth it down. So this card, I might add some lace or something to it later. I'm just trying to give you a good idea of how I would use these. And here's my Fabri-Tac. This is a little snippet kind of cluster that was in my bin. Had the purples and blues. I had the right colors in it. So I thought I would grab that. And I have these wax seal stickers, and I thought one of those might be cute on the cluster. Glue is going to be blobbing all over. I can see it already. That bottle is very nearly empty. Let me put the cap on that. There we go. And let's pop this open. I love these wax seal stickers, and I think I'm going to do this. This one's opaque because there is a staple. And just stick that on there. And then I've got this cute little journal card. It can maybe use a little fabric or a tab or something at the top, but that is very nearly finished and ready to go in my journal. I'm gonna do 2 more really quickly. I was thinking, let's grab the purple, blue, purple, brown. I don't know what I want. I have a feeling that I used my brown dauber for the black ink. I'm looking right now, so we'll just mix the black ink with the, good thing I have some more little dauber pads in my stash. So there we go, just 1, 2, just like that. I might do a wax seal on that one as well. Let's get some glue on those. But I love how it feels like I don't have to do quite as much to get to the fun, like coordinated creating part. I had blanks, I had tag bases done already. I have little ephemera pieces done already. Let's do that. I feel like it needs something else. I'll have to think. I don't know if the seals are I'm just gonna put that to the side because that's not the purpose of this video. So let's just sit that to the side. It will get more decoration later. And then this lovely lady reading her book in the forest. Let's glue the back of that. And center that up. Oops, she's not quite in the middle. There we go. And then I wanted to put this one down here like that. There we go. And that is ready. I can punch a hole, I can put some lace through, I can add something else to the top. But once I start pulling on my fabrics and things out, that's when I'll grab those bits and pieces and add those onto those. So there we go. Thank you for hanging out while I kind of did a little mask making today. I'm excited to start filling up all of this great storage that I've got sitting next to me now. Might need to glue that seal on. It wants to pop up a bit. That is not a big deal. So, but yeah, you can see I've got lots of space. This is like a clusters bin, and I can go through and just look for things that kind of have the right color for whatever my project is. I don't know that there's any purple and blue in here at this time, but there could be later. I've got lots of paper to work with. And then I pulled out of my cluster, my little, I don't need little snippet clusters. I don't know, these are like mini. And then there's all my great ephemera to pull from. So, and there's so much room to grow in here. I might have to put a divider or something like that. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have found this useful. If so, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.